What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Paradise Valley. This is episode number 11, and thanks to everybody that has joined me throughout 10 episodes, and hopefully y'all will be around for another 10. Hopefully this city will be around for another 10 episodes. You never really know with this game. You never know what tomorrow will bring. I kind of had a scare during recording this episode, but I was able to get some one-on-one technical assistance from one of the top people in the Cities Skylines community, so I'm just enjoying it while it lasts. Getting back on track, I'm working on the Camelot Casino in this episode. The Camelot Casino is a medieval Knights and Warriors kind of themed resort, more geared toward families and children. It's obviously based on the Excalibur Casino in Las Vegas. All of my working file names for this build was actually named Excalibur, and I didn't decide to change the name of it until I was basically finished and started working on the signs for the casino. Excalibur as a name is cool, but I think Camelot Casino just has a little more ring to it, so I decided to go ahead and change it. During the first parts of the time lapse, you saw me filling in this pool with concrete. I've mentioned earlier in an episode how doing pools and plazas is one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite parts of the series so far. The building I have in place serving as the main tower is the Cornell Village by Prosper, which is the same building that I use for the Armar City Hotel and Casino. It's just a nice plain boring white tower, which I may move away from eventually because I don't like the night lights on them. It's not anything wrong with the asset itself, it's just the game's night lights in general that I don't really like. I don't feel like it works well for this series. I guess, of course, I could go ahead and remove them and customize it. But as I'm talking about customization, I did a lot of that for this episode. I included a clip of me testing out Castle Walls by Damon, which are really perfect and almost exactly what I was looking for. Unfortunately, they were so dark, and I'm trying to build a bright, fun, vibrant place, not Castle Grayskull. I did take some time out to export a couple of the towers and a wall and lighten the color to a more casino-friendly white or light gray, and it turned out really well, as you can see on screen right now. These towers and walls make up the bulk of this build. I'm working on this monorail station to give it a medieval look, so the style of it wouldn't stand out. I'm really happy with the way it eventually turned out. In real life, this monorail only goes to 2 other casinos, and it does not cross over the strip, which makes no sense when there's another monorail line that also ends right on the opposite corner. For Paradise Valley, however, I chose to have those 2 ends connect for one continuous line. Right now, looking at the time lapse, I also remember why using the original castle walls wasn't going to be an option. The original version were electrical buildings that required road connections, and I changed all of them to props, I believe. These versions are just so much more functional. The elevated pedestrian paths and wall that I used around the pond is a custom asset. I didn't spend too much time on the design or the textures, but I think it functions well for what I needed it for. This was my first time making anything for pedestrian paths, so it was a learning experience for me. Doing it over, I probably would leave out the ground or floor texture and just use the in-game bridges to serve as a bottom portion, which is basically what I eventually did, because lining the bottom of the custom bridge to the Sims' feet so they are not floating or going under it is really an unnecessary pain in the ass. I eventually want to make a custom bridge that crosses over the strip and some escalators to cover up the steep drops in the paths. When I decided to start this series, I thought the pedestrian paths were just going to have to be visual and that the pedestrians would cross on any and every corner on the strip. I had just recently found out about the junction controls in Traffic President, where you can prevent Sims from crossing over certain roads. This really forces them to use shorter routes like the pedestrian bridges. So much of what I'm doing or pretty much everything that I'm doing in that regard, is due to Traffic President. So much of this game right now is due to the overwhelming amount of mods and custom assets, and 3 years later this game is still going strong. Obviously it's a completely different game than what it was in 2015 though. So I'm placing these parking lots right now. I really got bored with it real fast. I'm so tired of doing parking lots. I was working on this about 3 weeks ago, and some new parking lot roads just came out, which I was a little reluctant to try at first. I thought the parking would automatically spawn, but it's just a road and pavement. I had a little time to play around with them in the past couple of days, but unfortunately it was after this build for the Camelot and after I started a shopping center build for another episode. The thing about parking lot roads that I like is that you can use your own parking lots or workshop parking lots on them and don't necessarily have to use the ones that are included in the asset, which look a little bit utilitarian and sterile. I wish I would have tried them before starting the layout for that shopping center, but I'll probably be using them moving forward. As far as the shopping center, you can check out some of the screenshots for that on the Steam Workshop. I've been trying to wrap up some more stores for my latest shopping center, which I really took a long break from, but I just uploaded a couple of restaurants and a shoe carnival, so check those out on the workshop and give those a big thumbs up if you're inclined to do so. I'm just so off topic right now of what's going on in the time lapse. In the present time, I'm about halfway through the next casino resort, which will take about 3 episodes. I thought being ahead so far would be a good thing, and it is, but I'm going to try to record my audio a little closer to when I finish actually recording, because it's nearly impossible for me to stay on topic of what's happening in the time lapse with so many other things that have happened or are currently going on. So I'm going to leave y'all with a little music for right now. But before then, I hope that y'all will take out the time to hit the like button on this video. It really would be appreciated, and it just lets me know that there are people out there that appreciate the work that goes into this game. And go ahead and subscribe if you are watching right now and haven't. I'm going to be starting a couple of asset promotions when I hit 2,000 subs, and you'll definitely want to be around for that, as well as the next casino that I'm working on, which will be the biggest one so far. What's up, y'all? I'm back. I didn't get a chance to talk about the other castle I'm using for the center part of the casino. It's a castle by City of Tokyo. The castle itself is about the same size as the entire casino. So I did have to modify it because sinking it into the ground would not work due to the other buildings that I'm using. I also had to make the roof a little less saturated. For the pool area, I'm reusing the Oasis pool. I don't know when I'm gonna do another pool. Working on the next resort, I'm using the same pool again. So I don't know if I'm going to change that by the time that episode comes out. I'm also using some vanilla after dark tourist and leisure buildings, which I really never paid attention to before. And I'm just trying to give this area a little more life because it comes across as kind of dead in comparison to the traffic that the other casinos get. But I guess that almost mirrors real life with regards to the Excalibur Casino. That's gonna do it for me for right now. I really had a lot of fun with this build, and I hope all y'all enjoyed watching me create it. It was a nice unexpected diversion before I get to the main event, the next completely custom casino, and hopefully I will see all of y'all then.